Hello and welcome to OPM Now, where we look at the activities of Prime Minister Andrew Holness and your government. I'm Naomi Francis. This week on OPM Now, Cabinet approves enhanced COVID-19 measures for Manchester. We take a look at the indigent and social housing programs and no cut to the education budget. These and more stories coming up now. Cabinet has approved enhanced COVID-19 measures for the parish of Manchester, which will take effect on January 25. The nightly curfew for the parish will run from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. up to February 8. Gathering limits in the parish will be 10 persons.
Manchester has seen a rapid increase in cases, with 125 new cases between January 10th and 24. In addition, the cases are spread across the parish, with over 30 communities affected. There is non-compliance to infection prevention and control measures, as many persons are not wearing masks, and there is more crowding and gatherings that are observed on the ground by the surveillance team. The parish of Manchester accounts for some 11.3% of all confirmed COVID-19 cases in the last 2 weeks, and presently 5.3% of the total confirmed cases ever for the country are in that parish. The positivity rate for the parish has been the highest in the last 2 weeks, which over that period has been approximately 28% or 27.8%, and it is 3 times the national positivity rate, which stands at some 10.8%. So based on testing, based on surveillance, Manchester is far ahead, unfortunately, in terms of positivity rates, over 3 times the national average. As it relates to death per population, Manchester ranks 9th.
In the meantime, the government has approved 7 private laboratories to provide antigen testing and 5 labs for PCR testing. This ahead of new travel requirements for a negative COVID-19 test for persons entering the United States. And the Health and Wellness Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, announced $3 billion will be allocated to implement Phase 1 of the COVID-19 vaccine program. Approximately 16% of the population will receive 935,676 doses of the approved vaccine in Phase 1 through the World Health Organization's Vaccine Global Access COVAX facility. Today on OPM Now, we focus on 2 of the government's housing programs, indigent and social housing, and look at their impact. The Andrew Holness administration has committed to delivering a program to assist the less fortunate with housing. The Indigent Housing Program is administered through the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and has been created to protect and preserve the dignity of those less fortunate by improving the infrastructure of their housing conditions. The Honourable Desmond McKenzie is the minister responsible for the rollout of the program.
Indigent housing has been a part of the government's response to the poor and destitute. It is for persons who are registered with the Poor Relief Department who are really destitute. But what this administration has been doing since 2016 is to improve the quality of the housing solutions that is provided. Normally it would be a board structure not constructed properly. So what we have done now is to, as I said before, to improve it. Since 2016, 2017 into the last administration, we have completed some 45 such units across the country. It is expected that this year, the new financial year, we are targeting 100 such individuals across the country. But because of COVID, we will have to cut back on the amount. The benefits of these houses have been felt right across the country. We have done houses in almost every parish across Jamaica. And the fact that persons have benefited, you have not only put in the housing solutions, but you have also furnished these units, and we have put in water tanks to ensure that those houses that have been constructed, that persons have adequate water supply.
And Minister McKenzie says despite the impact of COVID-19, the government has allocated funding to complete approximately 100 units this financial year.
Persons who are in need can make contact with their respective poor relief offices across the country. It doesn't necessarily mean that once you make the contact you will qualify, because you have to be a part of the poor relief system that exists across the country. But persons can make contact. There are cases that persons are not registered poor, but because of how severe the cases have been, we have responded to it. But persons can make contact with your poor relief offices across the country.
So we've heard about indigent housing. Let's now look at social housing. The National Program Director for Social Housing under HOPE is Danville Walker.
You know, the government is very aggressive about addressing the housing solution. And for most people, that speaks to low-income housing, but housing solutions really go across a broad spectrum. There are many of us who contribute to the Housing Trust, and that is an excellent program that really allows for someone of very modest means to move to home ownership. There are those who are even below that level. They don't have the bootstraps by which to even pull themselves up. And that's what this hopes to do.
The Finance Minister, the Honourable Nigel Clark, has assured the public that there is no cut to the expenditure budget for the Ministry of Education in the third supplementary estimates. The Finance Ministry reports that the national budget has been revised to $850.3 billion. Prime Minister Andrew Holness read a lesson from the Old Testament at the 41st Annual National Leadership Prayer Breakfast on Thursday. For the first time, it was held this year as a virtual event under the theme, Keep Hope Alive.
Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waiteth on the Lord. He is our help and our shield.
And that's it for OPM Now. Please remember to follow the Prime Minister on all socials at Andrew Holness JM and on YouTube at Andrew Michael Holness /JM. And look out for OPM Now every Monday at 6 p.m. on all socials. Catch you next week. Stay safe.